My mom on a date with a porn star.
How's it going, everyone? So this is going to be the last don't worry about it, it's not going to be the last episode. This is just going to be the last pre-rolls. Like, this show is just getting started. If you've been following me on social media, you would know that I just got affiliated with OuchThatHurts.com. There's going to be little promo clips and things like you'll hear that at the end of this. But from now on, there's going to be like little mid-rolls just after my guests have finished and just before the stories and the games. So no interruptions of my guests, just so you'll get that. So yeah, there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot happening in the background, and that's one of them, my affiliation. On top of that, Reaction Cast, my television movie podcast, just kickstarted again. So if you want to hear my thoughts on TV shows and anime and movies, go check out that podcast. It's also on my YouTube channel. Like, there's multiple ways to find that show, just like you can find this podcast anywhere. A little heads up on my guest for today. So this was recorded a little bit ago. This was probably the second or third time I've had a guest IRL, so audio is a little wonky. I do apologize. Honestly, I spent like a couple hours just trying to get it to sound as great as it did. So let me know what you guys thought. Like I said, Instagram or Twitter, that's the best way to hit me up. But I wanted to give my guest, Elizabeth / Liz, a big belated birthday at the time of the release of this episode. She just recently had her birthday, so happy birthday. So you know what, let's get on with the show.
This podcast brought to you by OuchThatHurts.com. Visit Ouch That Hurts for music, gaming, reviews, editorials, podcasts, and more. OuchThatHurts, HERTZ.com.
And welcome to another episode of the Convoluted Podcast. It's your host, Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, and today we have a special guest, a former host of the show, Liz. How are you doing?
Good, and you?
I'm exhausted. I just woke up. But that's how we scheduled these things. So what's interesting about this episode in particular is we're doing it in the quote-unquote studio / my living room. Back where we used to do all these podcasts back in the day. So
It was only last year.
yeah, I know, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But for some of the newer people to the show, because we've changed the format a lot. Let the people know a little bit about yourself.
I am a middle-aged woman. I'm a single mom. I work full-time as a pharmacy tech. I am from Southern California originally, and even though it's been more than double the 8 years of being up here in Oregon, I still represent California like it's my hometown, which it is.
There you go. So some of the things I kind of wanted to talk to you about, well, the work you do, you work in the, what was the work you do again?
Retail pharmacy, basically. I'm a pharmacy tech.
So pharmacy tech. So here's a few questions. We've discussed little things in our day-to-day lives. Let's start with some of the things. So while you were in school, then when you got into the workforce, when you got into the workforce? Why can't I talk? Anyways, what are some of the things you were surprised to know going into it that you did not know beforehand?
I don't know so much. I mean, I guess the amount of drugs that are out there, I guess it blew my mind. If you think about it, there's over 500 drugs, and you have to remember brand and generic. And trust me, I cannot pronounce half the generics.
Can anyone really name the drugs unless you're like super into them?
Yeah, basically. They went a little bit into that course of, how to pronunciate some of these things. I was like looking at them like, yeah, really? Anybody can remember that? No.
Wait, there was a pronunciation class.
Yeah, well, it kind of wasn't part of the, drug clarifications. We had, like, this class was all basis into knowing your drugs and, the pronunciations, remembering them and all that shenanigans. It was more detailed. It was just slivered off into segments of different parts of pharmacy. So anywhere from counting, literally counting. They took old drugs, candies, small, big, large, whatever, and you counted, and you had a person sitting right next to you talking to you, so you had to keep your train of thought and do that too at the same time, because it is true. It's a multitasking world. You're literally on the phone. You'll be counting your prescriptions as you're sitting there on the phone with the customer who's continuing to blab their whole life story before they actually tell you what they really need.
Hey?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, that's true. That's kind of, the pharmaceutical company is one of the biggest, like...
The larger corporations of America, yes.
Yes. You gotta
I
love
mean,
big pharma.
it's governmental too, if you think about it too, because of FDA.
That's interesting. Okay.
Well, you think about it, you go to other countries, you could go and get those drugs, but the likelihood it's been tested to prove for its accuracy, that's another question of debate.
That's true. That's what we. I thought so many. Depending on what kind of state that country is at the moment, and.
I mean, we was down and visiting Mexico, and I could go up to the counter. Hey, can you prescribe me such and such a drug? Sure. The pharmacist could write it out, type it up, put it up together for me, and call it good.
Actually,
That's different. It is different from here. We are considering Oregon is very limited in what our pharmacists can prescribe. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, you've been how long have you been working in that industry now?
About 4 years now.
Oh wow, it's been 4 years.
I did an 8-month sabbatical at a long-term facility, and then I went into retail again.
Okay. Wow.
And it's been 3 years since I've been back into the retail establishment, and so yeah, almost 4 years.
Wow. What have you noticed in the last 4 years that has changed in that area of work?
The cut hours, continuing cut hours.
So basically, like, as
the amount of demands that techs have to do is astronomical, and the amount of hours you do not have the time to do them all. There is just so much time constraint, and we have to do so much in such a very small time frame. How accurate is that work? I don't know. I hope the pharmacist is doing their job and catching our mistakes.
And like you said before, it's a very multitasking.
High volume and very. You have to be accurate, like on cue. Nothing can go wrong because that person's life is in your hands. This is our brothers or sisters or our parents or grandparents. I mean, or nieces and nephews. If you look at it like that, these people that come up to your pharmacy.
That's a very strenuous job, from what you're telling me.
It is. It is very, very hard, and people don't think it's. They think it's easy. Just pop a freaking prescription and you type it up, and then drop the bottle into thing. No, that's not it. It's all about accuracy. Did I get the right person, the right drug, the right time, the right route? There's those 5 different directions of it, and it's the right person too. That's another one. I mean, you have to think about it. It's very much about accuracy and being 100% dead right. Are you doing it right? Is it because if you do it wrong, that person, doesn't take it right, does it wrong, it's on us. It literally is our job. We could lose our job from one mistyping.
Well, that's kind of true because the medical industry is a very, very strict area of work, no matter what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I agree upon that.
That is anything from a tech to an engineer to a doctor. Any little mistake
cost
Yeah,
of somebody's life.
yeah, that's one of the few things I try to, when I was going to school, I avoided thinking about taking any medical jobs. Because I know a few people that actually ended up going into the medical field in a technical side. And it's not like they're not on edge anymore, but they were when they started, because there's just so many policies you have to follow, so many little things that can go wrong, it might go wrong, it probably will go wrong, but you have to figure out a way to fix it. So medical field, guys, yeah, it's we need it. So hopefully somewhere out there, someone's doing their job properly. Let's hope so, right?
Yep, I hope so too. Day in and day out.
So
Yeah, trust me, there's many nights I wake up and go, did I do that right? Oh, I forgot to do that, or I forgot to order that.
I don't want to hear that from a pharmacy tech.
Yeah, it's no fun. It really, yeah. It's a strain, that's for sure.
So,
But it matches my personality.
so what were you doing? You said that you actually took a small time away from retail. What were you doing at that time?
Long-term facilities, it's basically we were working on basically people who are in long-term facilities, aka like rehab facilities, homes, facilities that took care of the people who are ill, and they can't be living at home on their own anymore for some reason, like Alzheimer's and stuff like that. We couldn't, those are the facilities we would source out to. There was multifaceted to this facility. The facility I was working at. There were so many different things. So I had IVs right next to me. In the front was all bubble packing. There was other billing going on. There was just so many different things going on in just a small, well, not small, but it would seem small, considering we knew like pretty much everybody in the building. I worked in called a Cubex, which is really fun. I enjoyed that. I was putting basically these cubes filled with drugs and we send it off to these facilities. And the facilities are accessed by the nurse, but there's doctor's orders in it that prescribe these. The pharmacist verifies it, of course, from remotely, and allow it for the system to allow to have that person have that drug, whether it be a pain medication, an anxiety, or cholesterol. They would be able to pull those drugs out for that patient, and then they would still at that real-time billing almost per se. Is that person will get their drugs that they need to survive in order to maintain function.
Wow, how long were you doing that for?
I did that for about 8 months. It was fun. It was. We were taking a lot of old machines and we were replacing with the newest machine, which was the Cubex, and it was fun. It was a lot, like Cubex says, its drawers full of medications that were filled with, your basics, IVs to your basic simple drugs to suppositories, and then there was also access to the insulins too. So.
Oh wow, you were doing a lot.
We were doing a lot. It was fun. It was. I got to learn a lot of stuff about it, and it was nice to see it from a different perspective than the normal retail that I was probably going to be into anyway. So.
That's true. So what led you away from that job in particular?
They were merging with another company, and it was on the other side of the river, which would have been probably a good 45 minutes just driving there and back on good traffic time. I didn't want to spend the 45 minutes on the road.
The hour and a half, the minimum hour and a half.
The minimum hour and a half, literally being on the road just to go across the border, just to go to the facility to work 8 hours a day. Granted, they had no, Washington has no state, taxes on your income, so I would have made a little bit more, but not by much.
You would have been an employee outside of the state. Interesting.
Yeah, literally. So I didn't want to do the commute. I have a little girl to worry about. My daughter is my priority. I'm fortunate to be 15 minutes at most from my workplace to home, should anything arise. What happened if my daughter was called in sick? Oh yeah, I'll be there in about 45 minutes. Do you think
Not
the
a good
school would
day.
appreciate it? Yeah, I don't think so. Your
Well,
daughter's sick, you need to come get her. I can't get her. I'm 45 minutes away. You're going to have to wait it out. That was not going to be, that would have been a huge, huge dilemma and project out of my life. So, I've had that encounter. You know, I can't be able to get my daughter at that moment in time, but that would have been some issues, and probably Ursula wouldn't have been in part of that school. So, that's what it is. Family's important. It really has been a part of my life for a long time, and she's my family. And despite that, my mom's around to help now, but she was working herself too at the time.
yeah, that's a whole story in a nutshell. Not in a nutshell, in a whole different side tale. But yeah, like I've said before, you used to be an actual host on this show, so you've had tales, but
Yeah, we have some great memories though.
yeah, I've actually gotten a lot of guests tell me, because the way they listen to the show is they listen to some of the older ones and then they listen to some of the new ones just to get an idea of what the show is about, which is interesting because my show is nothing like it was before.
Oh yeah,
But,
I still miss it though. I still wish we could do more of those. Those are fun.
It's hard to get together.
Yes, I get it. I agree.
And
Well, now that my schedule's a little bit different, it's much more easier.
we can try for a different show and try something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you guys might think about that. Let me know if you guys want that. You know, a new show, a new podcast. We'll figure out what the name and shit we can do about it. But no, okay. So actually, talking about family. Like I said, you've mentioned a lot of things. You mentioned you're a single mom, and your work could kind of your world revolves around that, and that's a lot of things. That's something that has been very prevalent and more viewed in the last couple decades, actually. What are some of the things you've noticed that you didn't think were some of the issues you were gonna fall into being a single mom?
Issues I don't know. Nobody plans on being single, right? And being a mom, a parent, in general. I don't think anybody plans that.
I don't know. Tell those people on what's that MTV show? That 16 and Pregnant, something like that, right?
It's hard. It really is hard. Somebody who doesn't understand, who has the other parent can help in so many ways. You think about it. You have twice the sick days if you were in a double parent household. Think about that. So you're only allotted so many sick hours in a year. Your kid gets sick. Who takes off? I am only one person. I use my sick time, my time off, my energy. There's no other person using that energy to help me on that, Okay, Ursula's sick. Okay, well, guess who's got to go home for the day? There's nobody else. You have double parents, double households. I mean, I have to financially support her and her after-school activities, her extracurricular activities, her clothing. Have you tried dressing a girl? Her shoes? Oh my God. Don't even get me started there. I love how people think, oh, single parents have it easy. No, it's not easy.
What's the name? And have you ever heard that that's easy?
I've never heard it. Somebody's like, well, you don't have to deal with an extra parent to, tell you you're parenting wrong.
Oh, okay.
You see that? I mean, like, each person has a different parenting, and that's because of what their upbringing is. Yeah, a lot of people discuss that before they get married. Oh, how we're going to raise our kids, how we're going to discipline our kids. I discipline my kid a different way from everybody else. I know I do. And it's funny, there's going to be a lot of clashing between two parents, but they have different views. When you take those different views, you see different points. But when you're a single parent, you see one view, one way. You only have to do it one way with your kid. Or kids, granted. And it's there's a lot of that aspects. I mean, you have to think about it. There's so many different. You have the balancing of kids. They have that both. It's such an important thing for kids to have a strong household of two parents. But my daughter's not one of those fortunate kids, but she's got some strong role models in her life, and male that is, and so hopefully that will help curb whatever problems I have down the road. I will have more problems as being a single mom. And you think about it, females have a lot of hormones between them too. Yes, I clash with my own mother, so if I clash with my own mother, then my daughters are probably going to clash with me down the road too. Kids are
very impressionable.
Yes.
Well, yeah, mostly when you actually see it. Like you notice it a lot. Actually, I've noticed it a lot lately with my siblings, with our parents. They don't like to admit it, but you emulate your parents way more than you think you are. Like that. Though, you remember those moments when you say, like, when I'm an adult, I'm not going to be like them. Do you know that? Do you remember that?
I am actually a little bit different than my mom. I am really absolutely different than my mom. I am. And it's funny, we're a lot alike, but a lot of difference. I don't really discipline the way they do it to me.
Well, that's changed a lot lately.
Yeah, because of everybody calling it abuse, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, what is it?
But now we have kids who are acting out and getting away with it.
What is it? The snowflake generation? That's what it's called, the snowflake generation. That's what it is. Everyone's very soft. Everyone. I've had this discussion. It's a lot of people are just very, very sensitive. Air quotes, everyone. Sensitive, and you have to really be careful.
Yeah.
And
I won't raise my kid sensitive. My kid will be a hard-headed, strong woman that she is supposed to be, just like I am. I mean, I'm just doing it differently in a lot of ways because I see it's more effective. I've seen kids have such a high understanding of things, and people don't understand that. I was speaking large words to my daughter because I wanted her to hear those words. I want her to think, and that's what I was doing. And I did that a lot. And my mom questioned her, why would you do that? Because I understand. She knows what I'm talking about. She understands. If she has questions, she will ask questions. I want her to ask questions, not to be scared about asking those questions. I mean, I want an open relationship with my kid. And that's what I want. I don't have that open relationship with my mother. And that's something I want different, and I did differently.
That's interesting. Then so let's twist at that. How is your relationship around what you remember growing up with your mom compared to how?
My mom was always working. I was home with my dad. My dad was a stay-home dad. Granted, he worked too, but he had his side projects that were that did bring in money. But because back then in the 90s, people retired at 55. 50 and 55, between that ages. My dad was retiring at those time. I remember the retirement party to this day. My dad and I we were close, very close. We spoke and talked about a lot of different things. I probably never had a single conversation like that with my mom.
Oh, your mom was busy a lot.
Well, she was working, and I didn't get it. I understand her from perspective, but at the same time, I'm a working mom, but I also want that openness with my daughter. Talk to me. Tell me, what questions you have. I want to answer those. I'm not going to discourage you because I don't feel like that should be, I remember asking questions of my mom, and it was like, I kind of got the, I turned and, like, not disgruntled, but just like, like I wasn't in no right to ask those kind of questions, I guess.
Like, what kind of questions would that be?
There was all sorts of questions. I had a lot of questions. We grew up in a strict household of Catholics.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, that makes more sense. What about the internet? The internet's there.
Well, remember dial-up. Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Mm-hmm. Because what's funny is that's another thing is like that we grew up in the age where the internet has educated, because some of the things that back in the day people didn't really know about, it's very accessible to quote unquote kids now, that they just know about everything and anything, which they're not supposed to until a later date. But it's It's very.
Well, I think my age too. I mean, relatively. I mean, the way I talk and do things. You know me personally. That it's. I'm outspoken about those things, but I also talk to my daughter about it because I know she knows it. She's aware of it. I'm not gonna lie to her. I'm not gonna hide it from her. So, nah, you know me.
So that for the most part that is Liz. For everyone listening. So what you been up to lately?
Oh, the same old, same old. Just kicking it, doing what I want, when I please. Well, going back to the gym and trying to do what I need to do right for myself because of all my problematics that maybe come true in the future. And
What do you mean?
well, I'm BRCA2 positive, which is breast cancer. My
So
genetics.
So for anyone listening, can you explain a little bit that, because a lot of people sometimes don't even think about things like that, because a lot of people don't really want to talk about it, but it's something that should be in your mind, right?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, so my mom was diagnosed with cancer last year. She beat it, thank God. I appreciate every bit of that. She was a strong woman through that, so then of course that came to questions. Okay, her sister had it, she had it. There was no more other sisters alive that would have expressed that gene if they had the gene. So she did a genetic testing and she was BRCA2 positive. That meant for the 4 kids that she had for offspring that they would have to be tested themselves to see if they expressed that gene too, which is basically an abnormality in the genetics genome that will be either expressed later on. But I was BRCA2 positive, which means I will have an 85% chance of expressing breast cancer and ovarian cancer.
That is ridiculously high. I think we talked about this before, but yeah, that sounds extremely high because when you hear stats these days, it's like 1 out of 5, and it sounds like a lot, but still 20% compared to this 85%. That is crazy high.
It's not the normal, maybe 5% that somebody will express cancer in their lifetime, but my odds are just dramatically increased. There's a 15% chance that I won't express it. Do I take that gamble? Do I take that risk?
That's a hard one to take.
Yeah.
And what's good is now that we have the ability to find these things even slightly early on. Mostly since this is genetic, it's easier now to see the possibilities and even have options or possible options for us. So yeah, that's crazy.
It is crazy, and here I am, 30 years old, and having to worry about my health. I can't be in my careless 20s anymore and not have to worry about that stuff. Now I really do have to focus on that. So I went and had my first mammogram. I have my oncologist nursed, and I'm working on creating what I want to do with this knowledge. Do I go forward and do examinations every 6 months, literally breast mammogram to an breast MRI, then do it again 6 months later at the same rounds? So for me, it is a ongoing thought process. I haven't quite absolutely absorbed any of this information. I've just kind of going, okay, tackle it head on. There's no right, there's no wrong. There's just knowing what to do to prolong my lifespan. I have a daughter. I want to see her grow up. I want to see her graduate college, not just high school, college too. I want to see her achieve. And I'm still young. I shouldn't be having to worry about death, and it's like now I do. It's kind of like, oh, it's there. It's not off to my side peripheral view, and I can see it like almost there. It's like now you never know when it will be. I could die from a different instance, but the fact it is, cancer is such a nasty thing in my family. It is, like we lost an aunt. She had breast cancer. It metastasized to on the bone.
Ooh.
23 years later.
Oh God, that's rough. I've seen photos. Anyone out there have seen these things? It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is horrendous. And we had a cousin who also was breast cancer, and I don't think it was a year later that it metastasized on the bone. And we also lost her.
Wow.
It is hard for us to talk about this, but it's also something that has to be talked about.
So what would you tell anyone out there?
Get yourself tested. There's no right or wrong answer to this. I mean, you want to know the answers? Go find it. Yes, it's Pandora's box. Pandora's box that you're going to be opening. But you know now, the better you can take care of yourself in the long run, health-wise. Whether it's changing the way you do things, exercising more, eating better, eating out less, drinking less, whatever that may be. Knowing is better than not knowing. Because if you get caught with it later on and go, why didn't I know this answer sooner? I could have been able to prevent it in some way and somehow. I really have, that's in a lot of ways for me is options. I have options now. I have better ways of tackling this than not knowing at all.
There you guys go. So take that, better to know early than feel regrettable later. And that's something that even I struggle with, that feeling of what ifs. The what ifs, basically.
Yes.
Like, what if I did this and that? It's better to try and get whatever task you want done now. Even if you fail, at least you've done it. So
it's not a failure. It's more of
any task.
Well, no, it's not a failure. It's more of a mistake. You learn from your mistakes, right?
Some people do.
Some people do. Granted, yes. They're not, I would know too many of those people. But I mean, that's the thing. Knowing is better. You either take that news and you toss it in the trash, or you take that news and you do something better with it. It's a sheet of paper, basically. You never know what you're going to do with it.
There you guys go. So, ask questions. Try to get things done. That's the basic bottom line on that. It's a lot of people these days have been. Well, we've been on this weird health chase, or at least people have. Well, a good percentage of Americans have been on this weird health chase, from people who are gluten free to vegetarians to vegans to some crazy diets that have come up in the last couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's
my brother has done them both.
Wait, what?
He's on an all meat diet, literally all meat.
An all meat diet. What does that entail? Well, besides
literally all meat. You don't eat any veggies. You don't eat any carb-based products like breads and stuff, pastas. So you give up all that and you eat straight bread. I mean meat and
bread.
Excuse me. Oops, my bad. Meat. You just straight up meat.
What is that supposed to do?
Well, he's saying a lot of things about the inflammation of the our intestinal walls. Our body can't handle that gluten and the fibers. We are not allowed to have the fiber in our diet, basically, per se, because we don't need that fiber in our diet.
Well,
yeah,
that's another thing.
Yeah, that's a whole new topic.
Whole thing, but still, I'm trying to ponder this meat diet, because a lot of diets, at least the more accurate ones, have actually some science behind them.
Yeah, there was a little bit of science behind his too. I was like, okay, you do what you want to do, broski. Love you. Just don't die on me.
I'm really trying with the meat diet, because even different meats have different properties, yes, but it doesn't give you everything you need.
Well, apparently it does, according to him. He apparently lost so much weight, even while drinking heavily too.
All meat diet plus, huh? Mm-hmm. Meat diet plus, guys.
Well, he was going through a divorce, so granted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know what's going on with that divorce anymore. So
that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Which will not be discussed on this show.
Nope.
But that's another thing that people have to deal with. Have you heard that the divorce rates have gone up even more? You remember what it used to be?
I was just in a class. Remember, I had to take that class for my daughter's sole custody battle, and there was a huge.
Was there a different?
East Coast was like 85%. West Coast was 85% chance of divorcing. That was high. I was like, what the fuck?
That is ridiculous. Yeah, because the statistic I heard was 77. At least the United States, it's 77.
70. You think about all the states, the 50 states. Yeah, that would be about right.
But do you remember what it used to be? Like at least a couple of years ago.
40%.
A little over that, like 49%.
Okay, it was close.
But yeah, it's damn it. How much was it again for the East Coast?
West Coast. Excuse me, 85%. That included Idaho, Washington, Oregon, and California.
Just that. Wow. That's interesting. I wonder why. Because
California, the stars like to divorce each other. They have the money to do that shit.
They do, but that's such a. But think about it. That's a very small fraction.
Yeah.
Of people.
Like, California. Think about it. Silicon Valley. That's how many people rich live in there.
Well, I'm trying to think of the average person who would handle that. Not handle it, but would go through the process and then exit out. Because just thinking of the West Coast, because
they always want better. It's basically the mindset. I can get better. I can find better. I can have better. And what happens when better isn't what it's all cracked up to be?
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, I've talked to someone who's been married like 4 times.
Oh God.
So, never mind. But they're from different countries, so.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I should probably find out divorce rates in other places, because I've talked to a lot of people about housing rates, and it's crazy too.
What, housing? Oh God, I can't even afford to live on my own.
That's a whole nother.
That's another thing is I can't. As a single parent, I cannot. It's hard because I put my daughter through childcare too.
So for anyone listening, we live in the great state of Oregon. Oregon. Trust me, some of my Canadian friends. Hi guys. They always mention me when I'm on their show. It's really,
awesome.
It's really fun. I was actually on their show recently.
You were saying that.
You saw the image. I'll link that.
Yeah.
Anyone listening to that, I was on the No Inner Monologue podcast. Go check that out. It was really fun. I'll send you the link to it. It was fun. It was fun being with them. But I've been mentioned on that show so many times. Like it's a bit. It's a fun bit. But where was I going with this?
About your Canadian friends. And the divorce rates.
No, well, I skipped.
And the housing states.
Housing,
that's right.
Yeah, housing. That's like I've talked to a good chunk of people from different places, from Australia to the Middle East to a lot of people in Europe too. So like even to our friends up in the north. It's crazy different. Like it's not. I haven't recorded though. Those are just some side topics that we talked after the show. Just to kind of shoot the shit. But learning about it a little bit to get an idea of what their setup is crazy. Because we in the state of Oregon, or in the state that the United States is in, it's ridiculously hard. And we've talked about this back in the old podcast, back when we had the whole group of friends around the circle, the round table, or actually the square table.
It was more like the square room, but it's okay.
Yeah, but it hasn't changed since then. It's gotten worse, actually. Mm-hmm. So here's an update, guys. It still sucks.
Don't move out here.
Don't.
Dude, the apartment's across the way for a freaking
one bedroom
studio, whatever you want to call it.
Is it studio?
What was it like? $1,200. I'm like, fudge.
$1,200. That's how much.
I only make that much in a month.
That's bonkers. So.
And they have a waiting list.
Well,
I'm a son of a bitch.
That.
Californians. That's who's owning the company now. It's Californians. Oh my God.
Oh, you want a fun story that I heard the other day on the radio?
Sure.
So there was news down in California about this one apartment because it had rooms and stuff that was rented out, and right now I talked to a buddy who lives down there, and it's crazy. California's crazy for the way they do stuff. They actually had to recently move because they just couldn't afford the place they were staying at. But what was interesting about this news is the tenant. Yeah, the tenants. Tenants are the people living there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was something interesting about these tenants living at this one of the more reasonably affordable. I'm going to say the word affordable / cheap place to stay at. These tenants were cats.
Cats?
Cats. So someone paid the is it lease or just rent? Whatever. They paid the rent. I'm gonna say rent. They paid a minimum of $1,200 a month to have cats live in it.
Jesus. Who has that extra fucking money to have cats roaming around in a what? What is it?
It was a 2-bedroom.
2-bedroom.
It's a 2-bedroom.
2-bedroom place for just for the cats. God. Oh, God.
I can elaborate a little bit more on the story to give you an idea of why, but just hearing that, it's baffling because before I elaborate a little bit, because like I mentioned, like California has, like, it's ridiculous still out here. Like we live in a very suburbanized area with like chances, and even then it's hard to find a place. But if you're going down there, oh God, it's crazy expensive to live down there.
You might as well live in a desert.
Or in a box.
Yeah, in a box, literally. It's cheaper.
Well, that's how. Sadly, that's how people live there too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, when I heard the story, I was like, what? Really? So to elaborate a little bit more on the story, everyone. So what ended up happening was this girl was starting to go to college at this very lucrative Catholic school, and her father recently got married, and she couldn't take care of the cats, and she couldn't take the cats into her dorm. So after talking with her father, because he wasn't going to take care of the cats for him because of his new wife and everything, they agreed on finding a place for them to stay at. So they were to find the most affordable location and rented out that so she can have the cats there, and she goes visits them time to time, things like that.
I hope the commute wasn't that big.
What's up?
If she gets hungry, they gave me a whole bunch at school. She can get a free personalized pizza from the pizza here.
Sweet.
Order it online and just pick it up and boom.
You guys heading out?
Damn.
No, I have to go see some of my kids real quick and I'll be back.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Pizza for Ursula. And of course it's just a simple cheese. Because that's what my kid likes.
It doesn't hurt. I'm gonna write this check. Make a little notes so I can cut the data later.
What are you looking for? What are you trying to do?
I'm gonna make a little note so I can cut this little part off.
Okay.
Memo. Where was I? 41 minutes. So yeah, that's the story of the girl who rented out this. Not her father rented out the place for the cats for her. Which, it's nice.
Who was paying for that tuition? I gotta ask that question.
The dad.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, he had money. He had places and stuff.
Yeah, obviously he had the money.
So
what the hell was he doing?
On top of that, he was paying the landlord an extra $1,000 to pay to feed the cats once a day. Here's an extra flat $1,000 if you could just go and feed the cats once a day. So
that's not bad though. Extra $1,000 in your fucking pocket, man. My dad owned apartments for a bit too. Once in California. The fact that he sold a 4-bedroom and got a how many bedroom up here? It was in Salem. It was like 177 bedroom place. From a 4-bedroom, he could afford a 177 bedroom apartment complex.
I was trying to figure out wait a second.
He literally basically more than doubled his space basically for that same amount of money. For the same amount of fucking money.
Well, that's about right. Mostly said you just changed complete areas.
It is. It was really funny. I always talk about that. It's just like, it's hilarious. How do you go from a 4-bedroom to a literally 4-complex building to a, multi-con for the same amount of price?
Location.
The location for the apartment complex in California was no different. We weren't even near any colleges.
Different states.
Yes, it was a different space and time.
So, that too.
Maybe more commercialized area, I don't know, but more buildings.
No, even the market now is crazy just for places like we stay now more closely in contact with our realtor and landlord. One, because we're all trying to find a new place to move to. It's like either if we purchase a house or get a new place because we just we need the space, or we would like some space, so a little bit more extra space. But that's an announcement for another day. But for now, we're still looking. But no, yeah, that's we've been trying to find a larger space, but it's crazy right now. It's not really a buyer's market to us.
No, it's not.
It's
But my mom did find a place and was between Newburgh and Sherwood and was really like 100 and... What did she say she found it for? I don't know. Brand new. It's 150? I think a 3-bedroom.
3-bedroom?
Like, it was, what do you call this? Not a trailer park, but like a...
We've been looking at houses. I know these words. It's one of those...
It's like
manufactured homes?
Manufactured homes, thank you.
That's what it is. That word always gets me. It shouldn't. Because I get it. It's they're just
quick, easy,
homes.
put together.
It makes sense, I just feels too, and no offense for anyone living in like trailers and stuff like that. It's I just know, it just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't. I don't like manufactured homes either. I walk into them. I think they're great living spaces. I just think it's not something for me because I can hear it creaking and like the fact that you can move the darn thing from one spot to another. It floors me.
It's awkward, right? It feels awkward.
It does. It does. It feels like you're in a little shipping container, basically.
And no, actually, that would be kind of cool if you could do that. That wouldn't be bad.
I've heard some of those buildings are amazing.
Yeah.
Made out of shipping containers.
Have you seen that Netflix series where just amazing homes built from random stuff?
No. I don't watch enough TV.
It's a good time killer if you just there's nothing for you to really do or watch, and you just want to see something really fun. I would say check that out. There are just some really crazy houses. I remember watching this this architect took a project where he took the wings of some I can't remember the name of the plane, but he took the wings of the plane and designed a house around it. It's ridiculous, and I like those kind of shows where you see some art behind some architect. It's really cool to see some of the houses. Because I remember growing up, I always wanted when I was young, I always wanted a tree house, but we couldn't get one because we didn't have the option because the tree was on the neighbor's side, which we couldn't do. And but it was always a fun idea to actually have tree houses. And people do have tree houses now.
I know.
They're cool.
They're awesome. I wouldn't mind, literally. I don't think I would mind being in a tree. I remember climbing up as a kid and trees growing up as a kid. I mean, I still feel like half of my youth is there where I want to go climb a tree.
If you have the energy, go for it.
I want the limbs. There's no limbs on half of these trees.
No,
They're cut up from the bottom.
They do.
You have to go out into the forest for that.
Luckily, we live in a very wilderness area. And that's one of the great things that moving out here to Oregon. Because I don't know about you, but I mentioned this a lot on the podcast. I grew up in Chicago, I wouldn't say suburban, more it is suburban.
It's very city-like there.
But it's city-like and rural. Yeah, urban. That's what it is. I always get those mixed up, urban and rural, but a very urban environment. And like I mentioned before, I really couldn't go outside much because it was just unsafe to be outside. So
yeah, I know. It's just like California, no different.
Sadly, right? Like a kid should just be able to go to their front yard, have some fun, go with the neighborhood kids. Like
Well,
back
I mean, I lived in a relatively good part of town. I mean, granted, there was the national, like, little reserved park of just wildlife, not even a mile away from my front door, essentially. Literally had wildlife roaming around, cougars and coyotes
Oh
and
God,
rattlesnakes.
you had like wildlife out to get you. I had just people.
Yeah, we had wildlife. We could play out until about dark, and then everybody was just like, "Come back in. The light's on. You gotta go home."
You do not want to be. You don't want to be someone else's meal.
Yep, exactly.
God, that's crazy. That's kind of cool, but sucks.
Yeah, it's cool. It sucks, but it was fun. We didn't like poison ivy, that's for sure. We've had too many rashes about that one. Thankfully, not like anywhere in the wrong areas or anything of that nature.
I'm fortunate that I've never had to deal with poison ivy.
We just had lots of orange groves and avocado groves, and I'm still disappointed about the homeowners who own the house now. They took out the only tree that produced any avocados.
Avocados are very sensitive to grow.
Yeah, they are expensive. I mean, yes, granted the water, but I mean, that tree was the only one that produced. Take out the mountains that seen them, grow the male avocados in the backyard, but not the front one who grows females.
It would be cool to grow some here, but you would need to actually grow it inside a greenhouse and it replicate the environment.
Yeah, literally, to I wouldn't mind growing some avocados sometimes. I keep thinking I'm going to grow one of these days. Not going to happen.
Oh, wow.
Too cold.
Well, like I said, once you find the place, like I said, finding a place is hard. Like that's all we really care about, just finding a nice 3-4 bedroom, reasonable yard, the quote unquote American dream home. That has drastically changed a lot because, like we've said,
You'd be fortunate to find a place to put your head down, even if it's on a floor that's you're not living out in the cold. I guess nowadays, you'd be fortunate and thankful for that kind of thing.
No, it's hard. Like right now, the ability to live on your own is near impossible.
You really have to have a roommate
or a partner. Sometimes even more than that to
make ends meet.
Yeah, it's
to even cover rent in general and the utilities that go with it.
And then to feel comfortable.
Basics, basically the basics.
Yeah, the basics, and
it's ridiculous. It really is.
It's hard, and it's depending on where you live too. That's another whole.
Yeah.
Level. But still, we're fortunate in this area, but oh god, it's just it's not something that I really want to think about sometimes. But it's
because it's too depressing.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna get any better anytime soon.
No. There's gonna have to be a major fall before there's a better economy. But of course, it's bound to happen. I mean,
what is it? Is it recession? Isn't that what happens every couple of years?
Every 10 years, usually about a recession. Yeah, sometimes.
I heard something like that's gonna be coming soon because of the whole bunch of stuff that's been happening recently.
Well, yeah, I'm waiting for that recession to hit so I can go buy a home.
Like I'm holding out. I'm waiting for the downfall.
Well, it's got to happen soon enough. I mean, I was 20 when that happened, 19, 20 when that happened, the first time around. I mean,
and it's probably gonna happen more obvious now with all the shenanigans that are happening in our government right now. Because oh god, but I'm glad that whole shutdown finally ended. So by the time you guys are listening to this, the shutdown happened. But it's actually going to get kickback start in the 15th of February.
The 15th of February? Oh my god.
So yeah, he's only doing a 2-3 week, we'll say 2 weeks, to kind of get things kick-started back in progress because it's been 35 days, over a month, where a bunch of people they're going to be paying back pay on all that, but still, I could not. Like me personally, I could not go to work and know that I'm not going to get paid that week or bi-weekly or monthly.
It's just not enough money. I mean, look how many people are... So there's there's so many stories out there. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to pay my rent this month.
What was it?
My friend works for the TSA, and she was a pharmacy tech too at one point. She just got tired of the BS, which I don't blame her. We all do eventually. She went to the TSA, and think about her. She's not making her rent. That sucks.
That's right. But yeah, so back pay is coming, but the shutdown will happen again.
Yeah, sadly.
I just read about that. It was I was like, oh, it's over. And then yes, but if people don't talk about it, he's gonna try again and shut it down on the 15th. Like, oh.
Yeah. Disappointment. Disappointment's coming.
So, I don't know.
He's our great president.
He is
Pardon the sarcasm.
Just another year and a half, 2 years.
Pretty much. We'll be starting to see the ads soon, right?
So there's a lot of people who have already announced their presidency. But
yeah. I haven't paid attention to that, I guess.
But it's...
I don't have time to... But I don't even watch TV, and I'm barely on the... I mean, I'm on Facebook, granted.
I don't think...
But I don't see any political posts. I try and avoid those because I get pissed off in so many different directions.
That's one of the reasons I left Facebook, because of things like that. I just grew tired of that.
Yeah, well, I had to keep up with my family. My mom's the last of 9 siblings, so think about all their kids and their kids.
No, yeah, you have reason. I could, I just don't want to.
And I have my dad's cousins. My dad was an older child, so kind of have to know my other cousins too.
True, family. But I'm glad I'm just a ghost of the family, which works a lot. Since I can avoid a lot of the not requirements. What's the word? The engagements that people have to arrange, because I just can't.
You barely keep up with your own sister half the time.
Yeah, so if I have to deal with different things like baptisms, communions, all that stuff for people. I just can't do that. I can't do it, and I don't think everyone knows that. Hardly anyone knows who I am in my family. For the most part, I'm just my parents' son, which is great. That works for me. It's a great thing, because I do not want to be asked to do something I don't want to. And if I ever do, I'm fortunate to say I don't do any religious engagements. I don't do that. So that's a great thing.
I only got involved with your family stuff. It was fun.
Oh yeah.
Your sister, Ross.
Her quinceañera.
Yep.
You missed the wedding.
Yeah, I missed the wedding. Well, I was out of town. You guys told me way too late. Hey, I went to Vegas instead. Hey. My boss don't know.
I'm trying to think. I think that's it. Besides birthdays and stuff that you come over. There's something else, huh? Huh. I thought you've been in more events.
I went to the kids' baptism, the one at the park in Tualatin.
Oh yeah,
and then I went to your sister.
Things like that, where my sister starts getting into both. Homer's worse too.
He's married.
Yeah, but it's when you're starting to. It's when you're starting to get into those obligations with people to be godparents. It's.
I guess it's different for what godparents do between cultures.
Yeah, well,
my godparents are not even remotely involved in my life, even though one of them is my brother and the other one's my cousin.
Yeah, that is weird because we can talk a little bit about that, because the way it works for my family is one is you get a set of godparents for different things. You get baptism, communion, confirmation, and then marriage. Yeah, so you can get up to 4 godparents.
4 sets of godparents.
Or they can kind of double up sometimes for certain things, because my godparents for baptism and communion are the same, and then my confirmation is my uncle and my aunt. And the way it kind of works is like they are, they're there for you for different things. They'll help you out for just about anything. They're there for you. They're like your extra parents. Basically, that's what godparents are technically supposed to be, like your extra parents.
Yeah, if anything happens to you. But I only had one set. You guys had like multitudes.
Oh yeah, that's because we have so many different things. Like, thanks to the Christian religion.
Catholicism.
But it's always the way I've grown up with them. They've always they brought you gifts for Christmas, birthdays, Three Kings Day. So it's like that extra pair. It's different because I actually recently saw my godparents from my baptism. Recently for my uncle's wedding. It's been years since I've seen them, so it was fun to kind of catch up with them because the last I saw them was almost 13 years ago.
Wow.
And I am not the same that I was 13 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So it was fun seeing with them. I danced with my godmother, and just caught up with them and seeing how their kids have been, because that's another thing. You grow up with your godparents and their children and things like that. But that's how it is. Then they help those godparents help your parents, things like that, and then it's this whole intertwined thing that kind of then you're just roped into, which it's. I see the positives, but it just gets annoying a little bit.
Well, I think from your perspective as a single male, it's different. I think if you were dating and marrying somebody.
No, if you married, then you're then you're a target for people. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So.
But why get married? You get taxed like hell.
But no, yeah. I've been. I'm just happy because it's not that I don't want to help people. I'm more than happy to help people here and there.
Just not on a regular daily basis.
I just don't want to be forced and obligated to do so, because that's kind of how it is in our family. It's like that your godparent, they need help. You need to help them. The word is need. It's like that.
There's no wand and you have to kind of thing. So
for me, like my uncle Vidal, he's my godparent for confirmation. For the most part, we've helped each other a lot. That's the only It's like because they he hosts a lot of parties, a lot. But that's how my aunt is, and that's how his youngest kid is now, just throwing parties like crazy. But anyways, it's weird because the idea of being forced to help isn't that. I just don't want to be forced to help someone I don't know. I've known my uncle since I've been born, because they've always been around. So if I had to help him, I wouldn't mind helping him. Even my other godparents, but they're pretty well off. So, but if I would have to be put into a situation where I would have to another people that I don't know, then I'm no.
Yeah.
But how does the whole godparenting?
I was given two. One was my oldest brother, and the other one was one of my cousins, my mom's side of the family. And they were my godparents. They were part of my religious upbringing, per se. Except my godmother lived in Chicago, and then she moved to Florida, and then, she had her own family, so it was a different, aspect. I did hang out with her maybe a handful of times in my lifetime, visiting her and whatnot, but my parents were, the ones who were paying the way, and she was paying my food, essentially, but I was 11 years old at the time, so. And my brother, Eddie's Eddie. Love him to death. And it was hard because he's still in this fast-paced life of California, which I get, everybody, I still have that aspect of part of myself, about going, but, family becomes your second thing. So for me, as much as I love my brother and I care about him tremendously, we are totally different. I really don't even talk to him that much. when life events are happening, that's when we seem to be talking to each other, or when I'm visiting Southern California. But other than that, not a whole lot. And I don't talk to my godmother that much. She was supposed to be my confirmation thing, but at that time and place in my life, I didn't see her being there for me. It was because you were 16 when you get confirmed. When I was 15, my father passed away. I leaned on another female role to be my confirmation partner, basically, in that faith. And I mean, I don't speak to her anymore because my life has drastically changed, and so has hers. I mean, after my sister and her oldest child were finished school, it was kind of like the end of that. So, I mean, it happens. Life happens. I get it. And I don't know.
Then here's an interesting question. From your point, how about your kid? Are you gonna do the whole?
I had godparents for Ursula when she was baptized, but I haven't spoken to those people in probably 4+ years now. 5. I don't even know anymore.
Wow.
Lost track. And I wish I had given her people that I could rely on my side of the family. But yeah.
What about then? Are you any near future for communion and?
Well, Ursula should be making her communion this year, but I didn't put her in any classes just because scheduling. I would not be there to be able to do that with her. I am not fortunate to do that because I am still at the bottom rung per se of work.
But yeah, that's a lot. We could probably talk a lot.
Oh yeah,
different things like that. But it's interesting to hear how different people kind of grew up. I guess when we grew up in different cultures on top of that, and seeing that even though we kind of had the same religion, like Christianity for the most part, and how different people take those traditions and it's passed down. But let us know if you have godparents and in how you interacted with them or how your family interacted with them, because we're in our family is very active.
Our family's active if any drama is going on.
Yeah,
There's so much drama in that family.
If you guys want to listen to that would be in our secret episode. I'll provide a link below. Look forward to it. All right, so it's we're getting past a little over an hour, so we're gonna get towards the end. So this is the point of the show where I usually ask my guests to tell a tale of the strangest, weirdest, most convoluted thing that has ever happened, you have ever encountered, or you have ever done.
Yeah, I keep thinking about all the stories I could tell, but I really don't have a lot of stories to tell because they're very simple and not that crazy. But I guess it was one that really stuck out because I recently was talking about this. Is like I was almost bitten by a rattlesnake, baby rattle. And if you know about baby rattles, they latch on and don't let go.
Okay, so elaborate on the tale.
I was going across the street. We were going over a neighbor's house.
But that was just really close by?
Literally across the street. Literally.
Oh, wow.
Like any normal street.
At home?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, continue. Sorry.
In California. This is California for you.
Okay.
Gotta love it, right? Well, they were getting rid of the orange groves and, of course, building to make more homes. Lovely, isn't it? And so we were out there. We heard the bulldozing, and we were going out towards the pool. They had a pool in their backyard. We were not one of those people who had the pool in the backyard. So we were out there. The girl goes ahead of me that I was hanging out with. I stepped out, and I kept hearing this rattle, and I couldn't, or this buzzing per se, and because of all the machines, and I kept looking around. She looks down near my feet. I'm not 6 inches away from my foot was a baby rattle shaking its thing. It freaked the hell out of me. I dashed out of the way. The snake didn't attack for some reason. Don't know why. And I will say there's always angels watching me, and I continue to say so. I appreciate my angels. Then that was a baby rattle. They were sitting there. The father comes out with a shovel to keep it in place, why we call it animal control, and the animal was taken off to be replaced into the wild, natural habitat of California. So it was fun. It was interesting to say, 6 inches away from my foot was life and death, and we wore flip flops in California. So.
Oh God, that's a close encounter. That's sketchy.
It is.
How old were you?
I probably about 12 at the time. 12, 13.
That's still scary though. Mostly if you have an idea of what's going to happen, because when you don't know what's going to happen, that's even scarier. But if you know what's going to happen, it can even be more scary depending on what it is. Mm-hmm. But that would suck.
It would. I don't know if I would have been here because you think about baby rattles latch on and they just drill venom into you.
How potent is rattlesnake venom?
Huh?
How potent is rattlesnake venom?
It's pretty potent. Baby rattle, but baby rattles will continue to release venom. As the older ones are more, they are likely to attack and allow their venom to do its job. Baby rattles don't know that.
They don't have the knowledge.
Yes.
To control their venom.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Sucks though.
But I mean, yeah. I probably would have been helped because
you had someone nearby and.
Yeah, somebody could have called 911. I could have been saved. Who knows? But I mean,
that's still a traumatic possibility.
That was a traumatic possibility that could have happened. Yeah.
But, oh God, that's crazy.
Huh?
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Trust me. A lot of people say that they don't know what tale to tell, but everyone has something. You never know what it might be, and it can. Sometimes you'll be surprised what people come up with. So
yeah,
like honestly, I would not have even known all the. So, you decided to play one of the games, but I brought out another one because it's kind of similar to the other one. So we're going to be playing 2 games today. So we're going to be playing Would You Rather and Inheritance. For anyone listening, like always, Would You Rather, I'm going to be putting her into 2 different situations where she's going to be given 2 different scenarios, and she's going to have to let us know why she would choose one over the other. Does that sound good?
All right, sounds good. Hopefully, they're easy ones.
Let's find out. Okay. What the heck? Okay. I wonder if it's gonna be okay for him.
Alright, so why don't you go in the other room, just in case. Okay. Just because he's not quite sure of the appropriateness of this.
Yes. Okay. Let's begin.
Alright.
Alright, here's your first situation. Would you rather be deeply indebted with mobsters? They also have lightsabers for some strange reason. Or have your firstborn, your child, be raised by baboons and be returned to you at the age of 13. Now think about this and kind of let me know why you would choose one over the other. You can talk it out loud. This is an audio platform. If you have any questions, I can elaborate on some of these.
Would I be able to visit my child if she was raised by baboons?
Yes, you get weekly visits.
Yes, I get weekly visits. Okay. This sounds like a jail cell. How long is from birth, from the moment I gave birth to the moment she goes to the baboons? How long do I have a period of? Do I get to breastfeed her till that time?
Let's say your child, she's what now, about
7. She'll be in July.
So say, for some weird reason, at this moment, she is like young. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. That at this moment, she is just, okay, honey, you're gonna have to live with this family of baboons. Let's go with that, because that sounds a little bit more rational right now.
Okay.
Because she is your firstborn. So let's go with that. Let's go with that. At this point,
My one and only.
so let's go with that scenario.
Okay. And how much am I in debt with the mobsters? Am I able?
Reasonably good.
Okay.
Like you messed up a lot.
Okay, damn. Do I ever seem to? Am I on good terms with the mobs? I guess the mobsters.
For the most part, but one moment you will get your hand sliced off with a lightsaber.
Oh.
They're not kind.
Well, I don't know.
Kind of debate it, and kind of tell me why one seems a little bit better than. Why would one seem better than the other?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this. Like, I think I'm a sexy bitch, so I could get my way around the mobsters. Sleep with one of them, or whatever. Go sleep with the next, and then like turn it on them.
Little by little, just like.
Yep, just turn them on each other, so that way it keeps the eyes off my debt. And then the kiddo, I don't know. As being 30 and wanting to be more going out with my friends and stuff, even though we are now called legal obligations with, homes and debts and all that shit. I don't know. Sometimes I wouldn't mind dropping off and then hightailing it out to whatever I want to do. I still want to go travel. So, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I really am torn. I don't know. Maybe with a large debt with lobsters, at least I would have nice shop.
That's true. You're like, maybe another loan, please. All right. So what is your final option?
Oh God, I don't know. Like I said, I'm torn.
I need an answer.
Oh damn.
That's how this game show works.
I know.
This is a game, so go ahead and.
I'm gonna have to say being in debt with the mobsters. I can't give up my kiddo. As much as I love her, and some days I hate her.
That's normal.
Normal. Love-hate relationship, y'all.
Okay. Alright, so you're indebted with the mobsters now. Alright, let's go.
Is this the second part that's going to go and tell with the mobsters being in debt?
So, let's go with our second situation. So here are the two scenarios. Would you rather be widely regarded as the stupidest person in the world, or everyone you don't want to see naked is always naked?
Oh, God.
So if you have any questions, let me know, and I can elaborate a little bit more, kind of like we did.
So the people I don't want to see are naked, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, anyone you don't want to see naked is always naked.
Damn.
And in this situation, I would say it's like a magic eye.
Okay.
So like they're still wearing clothes, but in your eyes, they are completely naked. So.
I don't know. There's some people I just don't want to see. I think they would look ugly naked. I don't know.
Okay, then flip that. So how about the other option?
I know I'm not stupid. That's the problem. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do that because then you get away with a lot more shit.
I don't know. You want to be...
Oh, she's just stupid. She doesn't know what she's doing. Okay. That sounds good. I don't know. That's debatable. I don't know. What?
Come on, elaborate.
If you were so the magic eye, it's like, you can't turn it off. So
no, you. Yeah,
and so basically everyone would be naked in front of me. Everyone, or do
only the people you don't want to see naked.
Oh God.
So if you want to see them naked, you can't. Which is an interesting idea.
Oh yeah, then you can turn it off that way. Essentially. I want to see them naked. I think that'd be hot, and then automatically, that's all you start thinking about, and then it automatically.
Then your mindscape will skew a lot.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of actually thinking about it, like the way this is questioned. Everyone you don't want to see naked is always naked. Then I would say the flip side to that is the people you do want to see naked for some reason are clothes too.
Yeah. Oh, that means if like you were trying to have sex with them,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to see them naked. That would be a
That's
bummer.
so weird. Now that I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna add that to that because that sounds. It seems more debilitating on top of that. So that's the situation on that one. Now, as far as the stupidest person, that is a whole, like, the world sees you at that. It'll affect a lot of your jobs.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Especially with my field of working, you have to be somewhat smart to do this shit.
And the way the state sees you and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so kind of give me an idea, think it out, and then let me know what your final thoughts and answer will be.
I don't know. The fact that I wouldn't be able to provide for my own kid. Oh God. Oh shit. And you can't, if you're having sex and you can't see the the person who's having sex, but you can feel it. That'd be weird.
I know, right?
That'd be weird. Oh, you're clothed. Oh, but I can feel. Oh, okay. That's an interesting twist. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that one. I think that'd be an interesting one.
All right. So final.
Yeah, I don't think I could do this being the stupidest because the jobs. I mean, I like to be financially supporting myself.
All right. Now you have the magic eye.
Hey Zeus, I can see you naked. Just kidding.
Damn. Burn. Ouch. That hurts, guys. That hurts.
Hey, you said I have the magic eye now.
That's true. This is what I don't do in studio stuff. Alright. So, we're getting into the second game. The second game is called Inheritance. It's kind of like Would You Rather. I'm going to give you 3 different situations, but I'm going to be offering you money, and I'm going to see if you're willing to take that money with a curse applied to it.
Okay.
So, let's get started. Huh, okay. Okay, I'll start with a decent amount of money here, because I vary this depending on the person.
Okay.
Depending on the scenario, and I can go up. I'm gonna offer you $500,000.
Okay.
$500,000. But whenever you misspell something, a porn star takes your mother on a nice date.
Well, thank you for autocorrect. I'm okay with that. My mom on a date with a porn star. That I'm sorry, I can't imagine that. Just because my mom hasn't dated in over 15 years.
So, would you take the $500,000?
Sure, what the hell? I think it'd be funny. My mom needs to spice up her life anyways.
Shout out to your mom.
Love you, Mom.
She's making money off you at this point. I'm gonna up it up a little bit.
Oh, you got up the ante, okay.
I'm gonna give you $2 million.
Oh, okay.
$2 million. But whenever you play a game, the building you're in catches on fire.
Game? A game, you said?
A game.
But I don't play games. So would this apply? It's just a game. It's in the game that the fire will go off.
No, you're whatever building you're in at that moment when you're playing whatever game.
So whatever game I'm playing, the house will go, or the
building.
home, the building and go in flames.
$2 million. I'm offering you. No worries. I'm giving you cash. This is just a curse that isn't applied upon.
I wouldn't take it. It's not even worth it because I like to, especially these board games, card games. I do play a little bit when I do. I don't know if I could give it up. I mean, I'm such an old school person. I go on Cube and Parcheesi, so for me, the building to go down, that would be a buzzkill on so many levels. You know how many drinking games would be so ruined because the house would be on fire?
Don't invite Liz. The place will literally go ablaze.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna take the money.
No money?
No
Alright.
money. I like games too much. I like my enjoyment.
One day you're at the mall, you're just playing I Spy. No! Boom!
Exactly. Oh, man, I'd be known murderer. They'll have to lock me in a box.
Alright, this is the final offer.
Okay.
And this one's worth... Let's go with $50 million.
Oh, really? And we're up in the ante now.
$50 million.
Okay.
But anytime you walk up a set of stairs, your great-grandparents and grandparents' ghosts appear and convey their deepest disappointments.
Okay, so my grandparents and my great-grandparents. Oh, interesting. I don't know any of my grandparents, so that would be interesting. I mean, I met one until I was the age of 2, and she passed away. I don't know. That might be interesting. Disappointments at me? Well, I live on a flat story. I don't climb stairs that often, even in work.
So to elaborate on the stairs, I'm gonna, there's a step sometimes. We won't count that as a stair. Any stair will be considered anything beyond 2 steps.
I don't even do 2 steps into my own house.
So
I don't
think about it though.
The only stairs I would do is if I was going to visit my brother's house, apartment complex. That's the only stairs I would do. I don't know. I might take that. They could yell out their disappointments. The old school, old age. So my grandparents were alive. They'd be in their hundreds. Yeah, they don't know what the decade or the era they are with me. Yeah, screw them.
I'll take the 50 mil. Like, you're just walking one day and saying, like, I'm so disappointed in you. Kids these days, they don't understand.
Yeah, they don't understand. I would say that to them, too. My grandparents. Oh, God. Oh, wait, yeah, I would have gotten some stairs up to go into your place.
Yeah, you have to hear their voice. It's like, I know, you told me already. I got things to do. Like, remember, I'll be back.
Hey, you look good for your age, by the way.
Kids.
I would do that. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't really, because I don't climb a whole lot of stairs, so I might be golden on this one.
Alright, 50 mil?
Yeah, we gotta take it.
She takes it. So you make your way out with $50.5 million out of here. And
there goes all of the money to investments.
you are now haunted, and your mom goes on dates with porn stars if you accidentally misspell anything or type anything wrong. Let's hope.
That'd be interesting, doing that at work and my mom going on dates.
Like, I can do this to my mom. Duh. That's more of a superpower at that point.
Mommy pisses me off, go get laid. Click.
Damn. That's how you get revenge on your mom. But there you go. That's the game show portion of the podcast. I hope you had fun. That was pretty intriguing to hear your thought process on some of those. You were putting some interesting scenarios.
Yeah, of course.
So this is the point of the podcast where I usually just tell my guests, you can let them know where they can find you. But you're really pretty hidden in the world of the internet. But
yes.
You can kind of spout anything you would like at this point. It's just your time to
Spout anything?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I hate Trump. Don't think we're federal workers when we work in a pharmacy and retail of all things, people. Please, for the love of God. Single parenting is hard. Don't say it easy. There's nobody helping me do chores and help parenting my kid at the same time. There is nobody. My mom might watch my kid for a couple hours out of the whole day. Not really, no. Still hard. Dating sucks. And being single is pretty amazing right now. And Go get your kids vaccinated for the love of God. Measles outbreak. Oh my God.
That's a whole nother topic, but we can talk about that another day. Is that?
I'm sorry, but I've had the measles and mm-mm.
All right. Thank you for sharing your final statement. Actually, the final statement's actually pretty good. I should probably add that to my list of stuff. Okay. Actually, new idea.
New ideas.
So I want to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to us ramble on afterwards, and we got to learn a little bit about the pharmaceutical industry a little bit. Thank you for that. That's,
Yeah, no problem.
You never know. But,
There's more knowledge on that side.
Well, we can have you back as a guest another day.
Sounds good.
So
I would love to.
So once again, thank you guys for listening. You can always get in contact with me on Instagram and Twitter. You can always listen to this podcast on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, just about anywhere podcasts can be found. Like always, thank you guys for listening. Until next time, see ya.
See ya.